Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the first episode of Should You Awaken for Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. So today I'm going to be talking about the new characters that have got on their level 70 awakenings and whether it's worth actually going out of your way to spend the resources on those characters in order to get the most out of their potential, and whether it's worth actually unleashing that potential. In the case of some characters, it's going to be a big old yes, and in the case of the others, it's probably better just to leave them in the dust. So if you want to figure out whether it's worth awakening the characters from the first batch of awakenings for level 70, then stay tuned and keep on watching. As always, don't forget to check out the social links in the description box below, including my Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, which I'll leave the schedule for just on the right hand side here, my Patreon, my Discord, all that good stuff. Don't forget to check out DissidiaDB.com, as it's the website I use for all of my resources when it comes to Opera Omnia. It's a fantastic website and you should definitely go and support them. And don't forget to check out all of the other content creators for Opera Omnia that are out there, as I'm sure they would all appreciate you going and seeing their stuff as well. Now, this isn't a Should You Pull video, just to preface everything. This is a Should You Awaken video. So, generally speaking, there's going to be some rules that apply here that don't to the other videos that I make. So if you already have a full kit for a character, then obviously you're going to be more likely to want to awaken a character if you have the stuff for them. But this video is going to assume that you already have all of the gear available to a particular character to let you know whether it's worth awakening them or not. Now we're going to start with Warrior of Light. Again, I'm not going to cover the character's entire kit in this particular video, as I want to go through the characters relatively quickly. If you want to know more about Warrior of Light in general, then do check out my Should You Pull video for Warrior of Light, which will be coming just shortly as well. But in the case of him getting level 70, honestly, he's so good. He doesn't actually, like, his rework and everything gave him so much that honestly the level 70 jump isn't that big a deal for him. I mean, you're going to want it. I'm just going to spoil that now. You're going to want to get him to level 70 because you get the resist up all, which is nice. He's a character you're definitely going to want to get the absolute maximum potential out of. If you get him to, I would say, his resist up all is useful because it gives a little bit of brave regen once you've got on the all resist up extension. And then once you've got the Bloomstone, you'll get more uses of it and those effects will last longer. And also it means that the shield damage that you take won't be as much. You'll get a bit of brave regen out of it the turn you use it because it doesn't take up a turn. It's just really useful. And then his level 68 passive increases your party's initial bravery and defense. So he'll pair up well with characters like Squall that want their initial bravery, other batteries and things like that that'll work off their initial bravery. Shields work off of initial bravery. So it's definitely a passive that you're going to want to grab. So yeah, I would definitely awaken Wall to level 70 if you have the stuff for him, 100%. Now with Saz not having an EX weapon, he's going to be slightly less desirable than a lot of characters out there. But that being said, his command that he gets for being level 70 or 65 is actually quite good. It slightly increases the amount of Brave Overflow that your party's attacks can do for 3 turns, which actually isn't too bad when you think about it. You know, he's not going to do amazing stuff by himself, but he already does have a pretty wide buff through attack boost. He's going to get a little bit extra from his Shatter Resonance, which is level 68 passive, which is going to raise all your party members' initial bravery and max bravery. Then you'll get a little bit more of an attack buff out of the extension for all advance. He just makes your other characters a little bit stronger, and, you know, being a red crystal character, there aren't any red crystal characters coming in the massively near future, except I believe Alize, if you really want to pull for her, kind of like I do. So that's something to bear in mind, is obviously with crystals not being hugely, easy access right now, you're going to have to bear in mind who you're going to want to spend your crystals on. So, and this will be more prevalent with another character I shall talk about in a moment. But, you know, Saz isn't a bad shout. He's probably the best of the characters that don't have an EX on these banners. So you could do worse out of him than than some of the other characters on this batch. Now, in my opinion, as I've stated in my Should You Pull video for these banners, Laguna is the weakest of the 3 characters that have their EXs this time around. And that being said, he's not bad by any means. His debuff damage up directly affects him, so it kind of revolves around his own kit, which, Ragnarok Buster does the same thing. Debuff damage up, it's just going to give you more damage on Laguna. Although that, his damage still isn't great when compared to some of the other characters that are around, even the level 60 characters, so he's no Vayne or Renoa or anything. So, honestly, if I were you, I would save your blue crystals for somebody like Cloud if you have him. If you don't have any blue characters that we believe are going to come in the near future with their level 70 awakenings, then sure, going in with Laguna is a good shout. But while crystals are scarce, I would be careful spending them on him if you have other characters worthwhile. He does have a nice little max bravery buff and attack buff on his level 68 passive, which is nice. And you know, if you've got his World of Illusions weapon, then you'll get a bit more party buffs as well. So if you have that, then there's more reason to want to buff Laguna to 70. But right now, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Cathar, believe it or not, actually isn't the worst character in this batch of Awakenings. She's not good. You know, there's no hashtag justice for Cathar here just yet. But she gets an additional attack, which is nice, that moderately increases her evasions in Blizzard Shot, which is Ice Elemental, and it's a brave HP attack. It's certainly better than anything else she's had recently. And then if you awaken that to her level, get her level 70 Crystal Awakening passive, she gets to enchant herself with Ice on top of that, and it being like just a free move is useful. Her having a third skill in general is actually semi-decent. Her 68 passive boosts initial bravery and max bravery for the party, so that's kind of nice, but in all honesty, I still wouldn't worry too much about Cathar. There's a lot of other characters I would much rather save my crystals for, but in the quest rewards for the raid, it does actually ask that we use Cathar and Ida for this, so maybe you'll be one of the people willing to take one for the team and awaken Cathar. So now we come to Shantato. Now I love Shantato very much. I think she's very, very strong now. Like given what she's had, like with with all of her Crystal Awakenings, with her EX rework or rework in general, she's actually gotten really quite strong. And her level 65 attack, which increases brave damage dealt when attacking a weak point for 2 turns or more if you have the Bloomstone, etc. It's not bad. It's actually not horrendous. However, my biggest problem with Shantato's, or I have 2 problems with Shantato. First of all, her level 68 crystal passive only works for herself and it doesn't work for the party. And secondly, she asks for black crystals. That wouldn't be so bad if we weren't about to get another character in Noctis that needed black crystals as well. And those people that are wanting to awaken Noctis are probably going to want to go for him before Shantato. And don't forget, there's only a week or 2 before we get Noctis, so there's not a long time to wait. So, I mean, the level 70 passive, which gives her more Brave Overflow, is nice, but it just doesn't affect anybody but herself. And don't get me wrong, if you have all the stuff for Shantato, yeah, she is worth awakening. But if you have Noctis stuff already, or you plan to pull for Noctis when he comes out, maybe it's worth saving the gem so that you can immediately do Noctis and then do Shantato later. Because if you've pulled on that banner, chances are, I mean, if you listen to my advice anyway, you were pulling for Wall and not Shantato in the first place. Shantato's nice when she gets her EX+. She's really nice when she gets her EX+, because she imperils all elements. And that makes it so that her weak damage up actually does a lot more. But right now, I don't think she's necessary. She does a lot of damage, but so will Noctis. And so does Wall. So it's swings and roundabouts with this one. She's really strong if you're not planning to grab for Noctis, but that would be my recommendation. Even if I don't actually have Shantato EX, I have Warrior of Light's EX, but I don't have Laguna's. If I had Shantato's EX, I probably would cave and awaken her anyway. Hopefully we'll get enough black crystals to awaken Noctis as well through his Lost Chapter and everything. But we don't know how willing they or how frequently we're going to be getting crystals right now, seeing as that we've only just had them. So just be cautious before you go straight into awakening Shantato, monstrous as she is. And then lastly on the banner is poor old Ida. This character just can't catch a break. Like, bless her. She gets attack up. Slightly raises attack for a turn. And the passive slightly raises her own max bravery as well. And her level 68 only benefits her. It's initial bravery and attack. She hits like a wet noodle right now, but like Cathar, the missions for the raid do kind of want us to use Ida and Cathar, so if you have her stuff, then maybe take one for the team and awaken her. But honestly, I wouldn't touch her with a barge pole, if I'm perfectly honest. I think she's like a really, really underwhelming character. Although she'll get a rework in a couple of months when she gets her EX alongside Alphino. So there is that to bear in mind as well. Like, she's not a completely lost cause, but with her, now is not the time to be awakening her unless you really want to help people push that mission along, because she's just going to be better later. You could save yourself the hassle, but why bother when you can just do it then? By that time we'll have plenty more crystals to go around, I would have thought. So with regards to which characters should you awaken and which characters you shouldn't, The characters I would say yes to immediately are Warrior of Light. He's pretty much the only one I'd really go straight in on, to be honest. Shantato, yes, like she's really good. I'm just really nervous about Noctis. So if you've got Shantato's EX kit, I'm just going to put her in the yes pile. She's really good. And then Laguna, again, he's not bad. If you have the stuff, hopefully we'll have more crystals by the time Cloud comes around, because he's the first character I can think of that's blue that will come with a level 70 awakening. So, you know, I would just be cautious when it comes to your crystal pack, or like which crystal passive you care about. I wouldn't have pulled for Laguna in the first place, personally. But if you have his kit, yeah, you could do it. Saz, he's not too bad. Like, I mean, if you're pulling on Alize, I think she's red. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe she's red crystal. So, honestly, I'm going to be saving my red crystals for her and not giving them to Saz. And I don't need Saz anyway. If you have any one of the EX weapons, then you really don't need to be Crystal Awakening any of the characters that don't have one, because you're only going to use that character for the Cosmos mission anyway. The Cosmos co-op is actually relatively easy. You don't have to fret too much about it. And then in the firm no camp, don't awaken Ida or Cathar unless you want to push that mission forward, and, you know, they're just not good. You know, I'm really sorry to all the Ida and Cathar fans out there, but they are just not characters I would touch with a barge pole. Shantato is I would only put Shantato in the no pile if we don't get Noctis crystals enough to awaken him, because if you have Noctis's kit, he is much more well worth your black crystals than Shantato is. Shantato you can always awaken later when she gets her EX+. And then Laguna, if you've got one, if you pulled for Laguna's EX, you're probably going to ignore me and you're just going to awaken him anyway because you pulled for Laguna's kit, so you're going to want to use him to the best of his ability, but I wouldn't have pulled for Laguna in the first place. So in the yes camp are Wall, Shantato, and Saz isn't only even a main B, and then in the no party it would be Laguna, Ida, and Cathar. So that's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's a little something different I thought I would try. Don't forget to check out my Should You Pull video for these banners as well, in case you want to know what the full kits of the characters that are coming around, particularly Wall, Laguna, and Shantato, have to offer, and whether they're worth pulling for in the first place. I've spoiled a little bit of these things by talking about them in this video today, but I'm sure you guys will want to hear all the you know, nitty-gritty of it all. But thank you again for watching. Hopefully I shall catch you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications for anything to do with Dissidia, Opera Omnia, Final Fantasy TCG, or any other content I might make. And don't forget, as I said earlier, to check out all of my social links in the description box below. Thanks again, guys, and I'll speak to you in the next video. Bye!